Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dante. Be sure to tune into the STL Bucket List show for a dose of that culture, that creativity, and all great things in St. Louis. You want to hear about food? This is a place to do it. You want to hear about some great events happening? This is a place to do it. You want to hear from some of the people that are out here doing this stuff, making this stuff, and just doing awesome things in the community? This is the place to do it. STL Bucket List show. So be sure to hit that follow button, support, subscribe on YouTube, ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and we will see you here in another episode. How often does this thing happen? Every week? Yeah, every week. I mean, it's weekly episodes. How can you beat that? It's kind of like those shows, you know, like you DVR it. Is a DVR still a thing? Do we still do that?
Welcome back to the STL Bucket List show. I am your host, Luke Farrell. Marissa is out of the office today. She is changing the lives of students, and we have a special guest today. But before we get to that, I got to shout my guys out here at Half Coast Studios. It's the hottest podcast studio in the world, not just in St. Louis, but in the world. If you guys have a podcast or you want a podcast, definitely tap in with those guys at Half Coast. So we have a very special guest here. This guy makes videos. This guy does just a lot of stuff for St. Louis, and I'm glad to have him in here. He's a good friend of ours as well. His name is Original Dante, the OG YouTuber in St. Louis.
I guess that's me. Wow, what an introduction. I feel honored. Holy crap.
How does that make you feel, man?
Dude, honestly, it's good and bad because it's like I wish there were more YouTubers, but like at the same time, it's kind of nice being like, what's up? I'm the YouTube guy in St. Louis. How's it going?
No, and you're an award-winning blogger. I heard you won a STL Bucket List Locals Choice Award last year.
I did. I'm like shocked that I did.
Voted on by the people.
Yeah, that was insane. Like, is there going to be another award show this year?
Yeah, it's coming soon. We'll drop the details.
By the way, people, do not vote for me because I work closely with STL Bucket List. Do not vote for me, okay? That looks fishy. Do not do it. Please, I'm begging you, don't vote for me this year. I want to see another creator. There are plenty of qualified people in this community now. So I think, yeah, it's their time to shine.
Hey.
I just wanted to, on the record, say that.
I appreciate that. So, Dante, we want to get right into it. A lot of times when we have guests on here, we like to go back to their younger selves. So take us back briefly on your childhood. Tell us about where you grew up, and just tell us who OG Dante is.
Yeah, so like, okay. Let's just go back to the very beginning because this is like I don't know how many people are going to know where I'm from. Do you know where Potosi is at?
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it? Okay,
yeah.
How about Farmington?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You've heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not where I'm from. I'm from somewhere that's like that way from Farmington, Caledonia. Okay, now let me tell you about Caledonia. This place literally it's legally a village. It's not even a city, a town. It is legally a village because the population is 130.
Damn.
I guess 129 now. So, but like, yeah, I was born and raised there, moved up to Fluorescent whenever I was 6 years old, and I went to Wedgwood. I went to Cross Keys, and then I went to McClure North. So there's the answer of where I went to high school. Mm-hmm. But from North County, I mean, I've lived all over St. Louis. I've lived the Illinois side, as much as it pains me to say that. U City, St. Charles, St. Peters, Maryland Heights, and now I'm in the city. So like I've been all over the place.
Okay. So tell us about that. I mean, growing up in Fluorescent, obviously McClure North High School, just tell us about growing up. We talked about it briefly before, but just tell us about the trials and tribulations you went to as a kid and then how that made you into a man you are today.
Oh, dude, McClure North was crazy. That place was crazy. Gosh, where do I even begin with this? So, I mean, I was like the creative kid ever since I was little. I mean, I made comic books of my pets when I was growing up. I made comic books like knockoff like Pac-Man ghosts called the Boo Pals. It was insane. I used to sell comic books. It was crazy. So all through there, I was like doing all these art programs. And that's when I first was like introduced to graphic design, which was like digital art. And I was like, whoa, what is this? Photoshop? Illustrator? Like, what is this Adobe stuff? So then I started to like actually do digital art, and that's what ultimately like pushed me to do like, where I went to school, but we'll get to that in a second. Whenever it comes to McClure North, I don't really remember a lot of it, to be honest with you, just because it was just very average. It was a totally average experience. But like there were some like, of course, crazy stuff because Fluorescent has gone slowly downhill, which is very unfortunate. I hate seeing like my hometown like not be in its best condition. But of course there were like some hidden gems there, like Old Town Donuts. I was there every day, bro. Like every day. They were probably sick of me. I would just go there and hang out with friends, but then I'd also go to Doozles. I love Doozles, bro.
You said you go back just for Doozles.
I go back just for Doozles. Okay?
Shout out Doozles.
Doozles alone keeps me going back to Fluorescent. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But, like, yeah, McClure North was cool. I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened there. But overall, I mean, it really pushed me to, like, be creative. It pushed me to be more of an extrovert. And then, like, once I went to college, I went to UCM, which is also just kind of a middle of the nowhere place. Because here's the layout of the town. Warrensburg, you have a college, a university, a place where people grow and develop and get smarter. You have Walmart, which is like, I feel like they just spawn all across the country in the like most random places. Like they just spawn in random fields. Like here's a Walmart. They had a McDonald's,
Okay.
a Wendy's. That's about it.
So college. So you studied graphic design, but you have a business page that you go by, and it's called This Isn't My Degree. So you started in graphic design. What was the moment in your life when you're like, you know, I love graphic design, but I want to switch and become a creator?
So like, I didn't even start as a graphic design major. I started as an illustration major, but I was like, my mom's probably going to want me to be able to pay the bill someday. So I went into graphic design because I was like, that's future proof. And oh my God, was I wrong, bro? Because Canva has like erratic, like at first I was already not using my degree, like after college, when I graduated in 2017. But then like Canva was just like, hey,
shout out Canva though.
You're done.
It helps the average person.
I mean, like honestly, I'm thankful that Canva exists, but it's kind of like, dang, like
for people like you that are actually talented graphic designers, it gives access to people, just like cell phones give access to become, you know, somewhat of a photographer.
Yeah, because like, I mean, shoot, with your iPhone, you can literally just pick it up, click video. They have cinematic mode now, which is okay. I mean, I still have my gripes about it just because it's still software. I could talk technical stuff and bore you with that all day. But honestly, like Canva just completely eradicated like the graphic designer. Because like I went to school for it for 4-ish years. I can't remember. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years. But now, I mean, it helps me like think like a creative and taught me like how to put myself in the mindset of like, what can I do to make something? And it helped me with like the planning process. But now, I mean, dude, Canva, everyone's like Canva. So like graphic design became more of like a skill and a secondary skill rather than like a craft, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like instead of an artist, it's just something that could be learned.
Yeah.
Just like, and then templates and whatever it comes down to.
Yeah.
So the creativity of it is gone. So being creative, you shifted from graphic design, this isn't my degree, and you picked up a camera. When did you pick up a camera?
Holy crap. I'm trying to think back to when my first camera was. So it started out whenever I started YouTube, I had a Galaxy Note 5. I was like, bro, I'm done watching YouTube videos. I want to start making them too. Because like I watched YouTube ever since, oh my God, like 2007, 2008. I like OG YouTube. Like I'm talking Charlie Bit My Finger days. That was a whole different era of YouTube.
I remember it.
Oh my God. It's like whenever viral was considered like a couple thousand views. Like that now.
Do
it's
you remember
like,
the video of the guy going through the hills and then the scream thing popped out?
yes.
That was
Oh
like
my
one of the first
God.
ones I seen.
The jump
on YouTube.
scares.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Dude.
Yeah. And then music videos and lyric videos.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Lyric videos. Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
the lyric videos, and they were all so bad. They were so bad.
Like an iMovie, the original iMovie.
Every 5 words would be misspelled.
Yeah.
And they'd be like made in like Microsoft Paint. Oh my God. They were all terrible. That was a different era. But like whenever I started, it was back in 2015. So like totally different. This is whenever people were like live streaming. People were like actually doing things that like are now normal and common. But like that was like when they were like super new and fresh. But I had a Galaxy Note 5. I put it up in my window and I said, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. And back then, like I didn't even know putting a phone in a window was good for lighting. I just thought, oh, it's just a nice backdrop because I have a cool college trendy room. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I had an iMac that had iMovie, and I knew that I could edit videos. And I was like, I'm just going to go for it. So I started talking about Black Friday that year, because every year it was like a tradition. We didn't even we're not those people that camp out and those people that like camp out and then they're like, I got to go here for a TV that's like barely on sale. We're not those people. We just go for the experience. We just go for fun.
It's an event.
Yeah, it's like a bonding experience for the family. So we would like hit up Walmart, Target, all this kind of stuff. And that year was kind of crazy because there was some guy that thought that my mom was my wife. That was by far one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had at Black Friday. Because I had like this blanket or something that I was taken back to my college apartment. And he was like, oh, my wife and I had this theme. Are you guys going for the same kind of theme too? I'm like, hey, hold up. Wait. I think you got the wrong idea here, bud. And then he like proceeded to talk about like his relationship development and like gave us advice. And I'm like, bro, stop. Don't do that. Like, I'm going to go back to my college apartment and I'm going to leave my mother here in St. Louis. Yeah.
Long story. Yeah.
But see, that's the too long didn't watch version of the first video I ever put on YouTube. So
that was your first video, was a Black Friday video.
My first video.
And you just thought like, oh, this would be a fun experience to document with my family, but also like something that was cool that you created. So that was your first upload to YouTube.
That was my first upload to YouTube.
How did that make you feel when it hit 100% and it went live?
I was like, what have I done? I was like, what have I started?
What was your name? What was your name then?
I think
your channel.
Oh God, what was it? I think it was Freaking Whale.
What?
It was so random, but like that was my my Xbox Live name, and it just kind of stuck because it's also still my Snapchat. Don't add me on Snapchat. Actually, it's different now because now that you can change usernames, someone else has Freaking Whale. So I don't care. I don't own that anymore. But it was my like Xbox Live name, and then I remember in like Black Ops 2, you could like make your own little custom emblem. I made a whale, so it was like kind of funny because like you get stunted on by a whale. Anyways. Yeah, it started as that, and then it went to like I drowned my fish. It was weird stuff, dude. It was like Tumblr-esque names. And then what else did I do after that? Then it turned into like just my name, like Dante Barger, like whole government name. It was weird. And then I was like, what do I want to do with my name? I want something that's like not normal. Something that's like it'll last forever, and something that's going to be like evergreen, but something that's like not super out of the box and that kind of makes me easier to find. And then that's when I came up with Original Dante. And now you're just a big yellow head inside of our office. So if you guys didn't know, Dante and I are members up at Spark Co-working in St. Louis. Shameless plug for our friends over there. Love them.
We moved in pretty right when they opened. But Dante's just down the hall from him. And I've noticed that video game culture is big because when he is at the office, he likes to play video games during the 9 to 5. So that sometimes is a distraction. But, you brought a Nintendo Switch. Tell us about video game culture because I know that that's big in your life still to this day.
Bro.
And tell you how that shaped you into a creator because you were creating video game
Dude,
content.
It's funny that you mentioned this because that was literally like I started out as like I don't know what I want to do on YouTube. I was just like throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck. But video games was actually like the next era of Dante where I started to stream like games from my Wii, Nintendo 64, GameCube games. I mean, just all types of stuff. But then the Switch came out, and then that's whenever I started to stream like Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and like I started to make videos of like off the wall games too. Because ever since I was young, like dude, I've been playing video games since I was little, and like it's had quite a bit of influence in like my creativity. Just because like I try to think of like a storyline, a big picture, and like all these different characters and their backstories, like that stuff like gets me going. I'm like, okay, yeah, like this guy, he's gonna have this kind of backstory. This is going on in his life, and then you're gonna have this person who's like, this is where they come from. This is their job role now. Like that stuff, you can hear how excited I'm getting. Like I can make a whole game. That'd actually be kind of lit. Make a video game. If anyone needs a storyboard or something, hit me up.
Our producer Matt on the ones and twos, he's a video game guy, video game designer too. So we can talk about that.
Are you really now? Okay, we're gonna have to talk once this whole like podcast deal is over. We're gonna have to talk about that. Yeah. So like I just started streaming like a bunch of Nintendo games, and then Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, dude, if you actually look, some of that stuff is still out there on the internet. Like I have other channels. I think the I Drown My Fist channel is actually still out there.
Well, look, we'll put it in the comments.
It has a couple videos that are live, and they're terribly edited. That was back when I didn't know anything about editing, but
here you are. So
here I am.
There was a shift that you had from video games, and then when you probably moved back, I'm assuming, but when you moved back to St. Louis, you decided to find a way to use your video creativity to support the community. You were one of the first ones I noticed. So when I created STL Bucket List in mid 2019, I found you pretty quickly, and I was actually inspired by, first of all, how good your content was.
Thank you.
And then that you had a website. And I was like, dude, he has his own website. And then eventually now, like, we build websites for so it's like completely different. But like at that moment, like this dude had his own website. So I might have filled out a form. I might have just looked at it and got inspiration from it. But tell us about how you became, you know, an influencer before influencing was influenced.
Dude, that was a lot of influence right there. Yeah. That was some powerful influence.
Some power. But tell us about it. Tell us about that. So St. Louis influence.
Dude, okay. So whenever I moved back, I actually stopped making YouTube videos for a while because I was like, okay, I graduated. It's time for me to I had at the time like maybe just a couple hundred subscribers after being at it for like 2 years. Like nobody was really watching.
You were what, 22, 23? You're like, maybe I should stop making videos and like start applying for jobs.
Yes, it's like now I actually have like bills to pay. Like I want to move out on my own. I want to do all this stuff. Like there's a whole shift in what you do now because like college is over. The fun stuff is over. No, it's not. It's just getting started. That's just the tutorial. But yeah, from there, like I started to just like wean away from YouTube. I started to work like, you know, contract jobs just because like that's how the industry was for graphic designers at the time. So like I worked with the Gateway Arts Park Foundation. That was super cool.
Nice.
I love them. I still work with them in some capacity to this day because it's a great organization. And I mean, how can you not support the arts? Come on.
Right.
Like that's our logo. Like that's our thing.
That's ours.
That's ours. So from there, I was like, you know what? I kind of miss creating though. Because I want to like not just go to work and come home and then just like play a couple rounds of Mario Kart and be done. No, I want to like create some stuff. So that's when I got the idea of like, is there anybody showcasing St. Louis? Like, is there anyone making content about this place? Like, are there any YouTubers that are here making vlogs, creating content, like going to these places, showcasing the experience of being there? Nobody was really doing it. Like there were some people, but all the videos were like 3, 4, 5 years old. And I'm like, okay, there might be an opportunity here. So I was like, even if I'm not the person that pops off doing it, I at least want to put myself out there and see what happens. I was like, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I have some fun doing some content, and then that just becomes my hobby. Sure, whatever. So the first one I ever did was Westport Social. I just hit them up like randomly, like right close to whenever they open. And I was like, hey, so I'm a YouTube. I was way overconfident for what I had. I only had like I said, 150 subscribers. I was like, hey, so I'm a YouTuber that makes videos. So how about we do something like just maybe we can set up some behind the scenes. Maybe I can see what goes on and I can like document the place and kind of just like give you guys a shout out on social media. Because at that time on Instagram, I think I had like about 1,700 followers. I don't know why my Instagram popped off way faster than YouTube did, and it still does. Kind of frustrating, because I label myself as a YouTuber. But I was like, yeah, let's do this. So they brought me in. They gave me like a gift card to use for my experience, and that was my first actual like
paid gig.
Was Westport Social. So shout out to them. They're great. I still think it's an awesome place to this day. That's what kind of kicked it off though, is like, that was my proof of concept to like pitch to other places where I'm like, hey, I can do this for you guys. Hey, I can do this for you guys. Hey, do you want to like see your business showcase this way? Let's do it. So then it just kind of grew from there. And now I've worked with so many different like places, but it's like, when it comes to kind of the premise of my videos and the premise of my channel, I try to showcase the raw, genuine experience and like lifestyle of living in St. Louis, because that's what it's all about. I want to show people, because like I even have an issue of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch still in my like possession to this day that says like Homicide City as like the biggest headline I've ever seen. And I'm like, do we really want to be like advertising this so heavily? Because in college, people were like, oh, like, you're from St. Louis. Like, if you go outside, don't you just get shot? And it's like, no, like, you're ignorant. And it's like, the ignorance is so out there, and people really do think that. They're like, I don't want to go to St. Louis because it's so dangerous. Like, yeah, we have some really bad stats, and there's a lot of things that need to change, and there's still stuff going on, like, to this day that really needs to shift in our city. Like, I'm not going to just, like, throw that to the side, because it's very true. We have our issues. But at the same time, that's completely overshadowing like the great businesses that are here, the great people that are here, the culture that's here, the stories that are here, like the people that need their stories told. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if we're not going to do it, if we're not going to tell these stories, who will?
If not us, then who?
Exactly.
If not now, then when?
Okay.
That's my motto. So
man's just getting philosophical. You had that ready.
I had it ready. No,
Manifesto.
but it made me think about that, and it made me think about why we decided to showcase STL Bucket List. So if you guys didn't know, we went on a trip to Chicago, and Marissa, my then girlfriend, now wife, was looking on Instagram, and she planned her whole trip off Instagram. And this was Instagram was still popular, but we weren't like, you were going to Yelp or Google to find places to go. She planned her whole trip off Instagram, and I said, when I go back to St. Louis, I want to try to have people come to my page to plan their experiences in St. Louis. And just today, I look and I get all these messages of people asking me where to go for this, where to go for brunch. Thank you for doing what to do in the Lou every weekend, because that gives me stuff to do in St. Louis that I normally wouldn't be able to find unless I followed that specific business, which is very far in between. There's so much content. So our motto is highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special.
Yes.
And if we do that each and every day by making content, and like you said, you inspired me to make better content. That's why I'm investing in employees. I'm investing in cameras, in studios. Like, this is out of my, this is investments. This isn't like funded by, this is funded by
neon sign. Dude.
I got a neon sign in the studio. Like, this is next level shit. So
like, I just have a yellow head. Like, it took me like 2 seconds to make it Photoshop.
But it's special, man. And it does kind of piss me off when you see these magazines that want to highlight that, and they're more catering towards that other audience of the greater St. Louis area. But there's 300,000 people in St. Louis. There's so many small businesses. We need to get people to drive across that river either way, whether it's Illinois, St. Charles, West County, North County, and we need to make the city great again. So how do we do that? We have people like Dante. We have these people that Dante inspired. There's a culture of like 20 to 100 people that make content highlighting businesses, so how do we do that? So tell us about some of the ups and downs by doing that, because you find yourself going to a lot of these places, making this content, spending hours in the middle of the night, creating this product, putting it out to the world, and you love it. Your mom loves it, but nobody else loves it.
Dude, it's frustrating. Like, one of the biggest frustrations I think out of everything that I do is like, sometimes I do look at the numbers, because if I want to be an influencer, hate that word though. If I want to be an influencer, the numbers do matter. Like, everyone's like, oh, then don't pay attention to that. So don't pay attention. It's like, okay, but if I want a brand deal, they're going to pay attention to that. If I want to monetize my channel, they're going to pay attention to that. I need the views. I need the watch time. If I want to get like in this milestone, the numbers do matter. So like, the harsh reality is if you want to be an influencer and you want to make a career out of it, or you want to make it just like a channel of revenue, numbers do matter. So sometimes I do look at it and I'm like, yeah, wow, my views are down a little bit this month. What am I going to do? Or like, I haven't reached as many people on Instagram this month. What am I going to do? But at the same time though, like, numbers kind of don't matter at the same time. It just depends on the context. Cause like, I can't really think of anyone else still, I mean, unfortunately, doing YouTube with the sole purpose of promoting St. Louis. Like, do you know anybody?
We talked to a few people that do, but it's more just like personal. It's not like strictly promoting St. Louis. And you even came out with, eventually you were like, I need to like make a shift, so let's go back to that, because this happened, I think at the end of last year.
Yeah, it was like the end of last year.
And you got fed up with stuff, and you wanted to make a shift, because you're like, if this isn't working, it's insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. So you're back now, but tell us about that moment in your life, because you were probably pretty down at that moment.
I was just kind of like, I felt lost for direction, because I've been promoting St. Louis and doing all this stuff, like pouring out all of this, creativity, giving all this time, effort, money, like all this stuff was self-funded. Like I was doing all this stuff to help promote the city that I love, but in some capacity, I felt like I wasn't receiving the same love in return, just because the growth was so slow. It was like this. I was expecting more like a this, but it was more like a this, you know? Because like, yeah, I mean, I'm still growing every single day on social media, but it's not anywhere near where it's like sustainable. Because now like my production quality's gotten higher. The amount of time that I have to edit videos gets higher. Like the equipment, you think this is cheap? No. Like I could stick with this. Yeah. But like this will beat this out any day of the week. So yeah, I was kind of like sitting there. I had that moment where I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like I need to make some type of change, because doing this whole like just hyper focus on St. Louis thing, I'm like boxing myself in a little too much. So that's what made me kind of like, I'm going to take a break. I'm just going to chill. I did this like Vlogmas project that I was overly ambitious about. And that's why it ultimately kind of flopped a little bit, because literally like the first week of December, and I think I even hit you up about this.
We did one.
I was like, yeah, so like I want to make 12 videos and do the 12 days of Vlogmas. And I'm like,
Is it in 2 weeks?
yeah, you're like, in 2 weeks? Are you sure? I mean, the fact that I still pulled off like 5 or 6 was still kind of intense.
Well, the thing was you had
Like-
other people you needed involved with it, and that's when you run into that problem. We run into that problem is like, that's why I do a lot of things myself, because when you
Yeah.
try to rely on other people to create projects,
Yes.
you have to allow 60, 90-day lead times, you know? So this year,
Yeah.
if you do choose to drop that again, which you should, because it's going to
I'm
be,
going to. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to do it right this year.
let's start it
okay?
in September, October, you know, and really start
Oh, yeah.
planning it out. So
Oh, yeah. We're going to have, it's going to be awesome this year. Because now I feel like, even now, like I just have way more connections. I have way more time now that I've left my job.
wait. We didn't even talk about you quitting your job.
Yeah, I quit my job. What's up?
So this happened like 2 weeks ago. And, you know,
Sure
I see
did.
Dante, like I said, we work at the same building. So I see him a lot. I see him a lot more now that you quit your job. So why did you quit Porsche? It's a super cool company that you get to take videos
Dude.
of dope ass cars every day.
Dude, those cars are so cool, man. Like out of all the car brands, I could also talk cars a lot too. That's another thing that like I'm very much so into. Porsche is just like in a whole nother league than everything else. Like you think like whenever you think German brands, you're like Mercedes, Audi, BMW, which I think BMW is overrated. I'm saying that on the record. Porsche is just like their own thing. So like being able, it really gave me like a true appreciation for cars from like a technical aspect, a design aspect, just like the thought that went into it. Cause like I researched the brand heavily once I started like working for them. I was like, yo, these are actually like really sick. Cause I've always been more of a fan of Japanese cars, cause like that's just what I like. But Porsche is just, I have an appreciation for them now. But whenever I first started, it was primarily focused around like social media, creating content, creating reels, getting these cool pictures around St. Louis. But like with many things, and like a lot of things have changed over the past couple years, roles can change too. So ultimately, the way that my role was going was a way that I was kind of like, it made me do some soul searching. I'm like, is this really the path that I want to take? Or do I want to just like completely break off and do my own thing? So ultimately, I decided to go do my own thing. I mean, I still love the cars. I still love the people there. Everything was great. It's just I decided to go a different path. So
You were feeling like you might have been getting comfortable, and your role was not allowing you to be creative. And if you're
Yeah.
not creative, then you're stuck.
yeah, and that's what really made me like that's what pushed me really, is like there wasn't a lot of room for the creativity aspect of things. And I'm like, I don't want to lose that, because I know that that's something that I have working for me right now. I don't want to just like, you know, scoff that off to the side. Like, it'll be fine. Everything will work. It's like, no, I want to keep that. I want to keep that alive and thriving.
Right.
So that's ultimately why I am here now on a Friday
Afternoon.
afternoon.
During lunch.
Yes.
And this isn't lunch break. This is just what we do. And we, both of us now are entrepreneurs. And I told you when I quit my job in February of 2020, I think my residual income that I was earning was like close to like $1,500 a month. But I knew that $1,500 a month was all I needed to quit. So I had to get myself to that 1,500, which now I need a lot more than that. But this is a different time.
Like, now you got teams.
this is a different time. But I told Marissa, I said, I'm not happy what I'm doing. I'm making good money, but I'm not fulfilled in the career that I'm doing. How can I shift? So I found out, and then a month after that, COVID hit. And then I'm like,
Bro,
my primary business is working with businesses that are open. So I thought about going back. I stuck it out. I hit the streets. I knocked doors. I hustled. I emailed. I called. I did all those things that you're doing now. I went to your office. You have like a stack of cards, and you're hitting the phones.
Oh, I have a lot of cards. My emails, I feel like it's going off nonstop now. But like, I also have like my influencer stuff to thank for that, because like without that, I mean, I wouldn't have the network of people that I have now.
Right.
So like, I mean, I've met a lot of people, met a lot of businesses, met a lot of the people that had like decision-making power in these businesses. So like that ultimately, it's crazy to say that like without YouTube, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now. We wouldn't be talking. I'd probably still be following the page like, yeah, that's super cool. And like, we wouldn't have even met if I wouldn't have started YouTube.
Right.
I don't even know if I'd be in St. Louis, to be honest with you.
You'd probably be like an art person at like a company that you're not happy at, and making like $37,500 a year.
Yes,
you know?
barely not keeping up with inflation.
Right.
So like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that like just picking up a camera, because now I know how to shoot videos. Now I know how to edit videos that are like not just vlogs, but like productions. Like I've done music videos, event recap videos. I've done a lot of food videos, restaurant videos, interviews. I've done like street style stuff. I mean, all this stuff has like led into, you know, what I do now, which is crazy. That like something that started as a hobby and something that started for fun is now the thing that I'm doing full time. That's crazy, bro.
It's crazy. And now you're on podcast talking about it.
I'm on a podcast right now. What? And I mean, I've been trying to launch my own podcast too, but that's
you had one, and you're just creative.
Oh my
you're
God.
hyper creative, but you're like me in that way, because I have all these things in my mind, and I'm so optimistic that I can create all these things, but it takes time and it takes resources. And you have to now that we've got big enough, I need to attack every project, and I need to have all my ducks in a row before I drop a project, because if you flop or you fail, like if this podcast only had 3 episodes and it failed, when I go to drop the next one, people are going to be like, well, why would I listen to that if I can't get invested in the product that we're putting out? And shout out to my guys at Half Coast, because this product is fire. We have the best guests in the city. We have the most real, raw conversations in St. Louis. So that's what we do. So Dante, I wanted to kind of shift into your focus going forward. So, you know, let's just go for it. Let's say 5 years from now. You're 28 right now, right?
Yeah.
So 5 years.
I'm in my 30s in 5 years.
Oh shit.
That's great. It's weird though, because like a lot of people, the majority of people think I'm like 22, 23. And I'm like, do I really come off like that? Is it because I'm funny? Is that what it is? Like, you think people can't be funny in their late 20s? Come on. Living proof right here.
Living proof.
Come on now.
5 years from now, what do you think? Where are you going to be at?
5 years from now, I'd say I'm going to have a team. The goal is to create more me's, more people that are going to tell a story in St. Louis the way that I do it. Because the thing that a lot of people, I get comments on YouTube and I get DMs of people that are like, I like the way that you showcase St. Louis, because it's just like, you make it look so cool, make it look so fresh. And like, people have messaged me saying that like, I moved here because I watched your videos. And I'm like, whoa, like, that's crazy. Crap. Like, that's wild. And like, I've run into people just like out and about, and they're like, hey, oh my God, I follow you on Instagram. Oh my God, I see your YouTube videos. And I'm like, really? Like, for real? And they're like, yeah, I like this video because I went to this place and it was awesome. And I'm like, wow. So there's a lot of value in that. So like, just the way that I communicate through these videos and the way that I communicate through these vlogs and just like communicate as a person, I want to have a team of people that can do the same. I want to inspire the next generation of creators, which if it's not on YouTube, if it's not on Instagram, if it's TikTok or whatever's next after that, I want them to be able to communicate their story and also have the ability to communicate other people's story, because that is a huge skill.
And that leads to business. So is there any dream projects? Like, I like to ask creators, like, what is your dream project? If you had a budget, like if you had an empty check that you had to create for a brand, or what's your dream brand to work with? Let's start there.
Dream brand. I mean, oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of just one brand. Really, I mean, also creators are mixed in there too.
Yeah.
Like
We'll do that next. We'll do Dream Brand and then we'll do Dream Collab.
Dream Brand and Dream Collab. Honestly, I want to work with a car brand in some capacity. I want to do that. I think there's a lot of like I want to work with a Japanese car brand. I'm not really loyal to any of them. I drive an Infiniti. I love my Infiniti, and it's amazing. But I don't know, if Lexus hit me up, it kind of be hard to say no.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
it's about the bag. When it comes to it, it's about a bag.
Give me an LC500, bro. Yeah, I'd be so happy with that. But like, I don't know. I mean, I think just working with, or an NSX. Oh, bro, an Acura. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But see, like, it's just a car brand. I
think
a
car brand to like be a part of you and maybe sponsor you in some sort of way to where you create content with their vehicle.
I want to create content.
Because Nissan posted you the other day.
Bro.
They posted that fire-ass Sentra. Let's talk about
it. So that Sentra, bro. Okay. And this is still whenever I was like working full time. They pulled up this Sentra and I was like, what is that? What is that? What's going on here? Like it's just a normal car. Like what's it doing in this booth? And they were like, well, that's a car that we have. And I'm like, what? We have a Sentra? And honestly, it was a pretty clean Sentra. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to disrespect the Sentra because like it had nice AC. I tested that out very nicely because it was a hot day. Summer started early this year, which kind of makes me mad.
It's good on gas mileage. It's a nice,
bro,
reliable car.
Especially right now, gas prices. Premium's $5, and this is not California. This is St. Louis. What are we doing, bro? Like, this is stuff that, like, I'm hitting on my friends in LA, and they're like, $5, that's cute. I'm like, okay, but we have grass here, okay? Like, this is a different type of world in St. Louis.
Right.
But, like, yeah, I think the Sentra. I made that video because, like, car videos are my thing. I was like, I'm going to make this video just as a joke. I want to see what happens with it. And then I got this DM on my This Isn't My Degree Instagram. And then Nissan was like, hey, we love this video. We'd love to post it. And I'm like,
out of all of the videos.
Because it said Nissan, like, because I've been reposted and stuff, and I've been in talks with Nissan before. So, like, they posted some of my photos of my buddy's 370Z that I took back in winter of 2021, whenever, like, the ice was hitting. And I took it to the park, which was really not the best decision now that I think about it. But, like, ultimately it paid off. Right. So I saw Nissan then message me again, and I'm like, that's just probably some fan page. And then I was like, oh, that's a blue check. That's not a fan page. That's Nissan. And then I sent it to them and then didn't hear anything back for a little while. They saw it, and I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe they didn't like the Sentra. It's like, that's one of your cars. And then they posted, and then I got the notification that said, Nissan tagged you in the post. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? And they posted the Sentra. And then it got like, it was performing like very well on their page. And I'm like, so that the moral of the story is Sentras are not to be underestimated. The Sentra is a good car. It is a good commuter car. It's actually surprisingly comfortable. This is not sponsored, by the way.
It could be.
It could be. It could be. Nissan, bro, you're already in my DMs. Just hit me up. Just like, let's talk about that 400s. Bro, let's talk about the new Z, and then maybe we can.
Life is short. Shoot your shot. That's basically what it comes down to. Is you have to shoot your shot. Yes. I get told no a lot of times on projects that I want to do, and what I do is I just ask somebody else, and I move on to the next project. I never get upset or sad about it because each no leads me to that closest to that next yes. So that leads us into your dream collab. If you could make a video with anybody in the world, who would it be?
Cody Ko and Noel Miller.
Why?
Please. Because I've been watching their stuff for years, bro, and they are hilarious. I was so mad. This made me really mad. I was actually going to see Noel Miller. He was at, I think it was Helium, literally like last weekend. I tested positive for COVID the day before the show. Do you have any idea how mad I was? I was fuming. I'm like,
that FOMO that you had,
bro,
down bad, like you had no option to go. Like you
I
couldn't
had
even
no
go.
choice.
It wasn't even like, oh, I couldn't afford the ticket. It was like, I can't just go.
It's like, okay, great. I guess I'm just gonna sit at home and just look
and
outside.
Watch the story of the recap video. Of
yes, and like see his stories of him leaving St. Louis, because he put up stories like, oh, what's good in St. Louis? I'm like, bruh, I know a guy that can I can help you with that. Just hit me up. Let's talk. like Noel, Cody, next time you're in St. Louis, just let me know. But I was like, dude, let's just, I can do that.
Right.
And then
So
that
you
was
wanna
my
collab
opportunity.
with those guys?
I want to collab with them so bad. Bro, dude, they're great. They're great.
That's amazing. So it is the STL Bucket List show. We always have to shout out places in St. Louis. Give us a list of a few of your STL Bucket List destination spots,
my
whether
God.
that's a food, park, place, event. It could be anything. Just give us some of your favorite things to do in St. Louis.
I would say, I'm trying to think of recent too. I mean, recently High Point. High Point is like one of my all-time favorite. I love High Point. I mean, it also helps that I live within very close vicinity of one. So I love it. But High Point, definitely. Chicken Out, I feel like Chicken Out needs some more love too. Because Chicken Out, like,
It slaps.
it's so good. I mean, oh my God, they had like chicken and waffle sliders, dude. It's like, you think of chicken and waffles, it's like, I never thought to make it a sandwich. They're so good. And then they have like the Nashville Hot, which I don't handle spicy food very well. Like, I should say, I love spicy food, but my body is like, why are you doing this to me? I love spicy food, but then it's like spicy food is the bane of my existence. I'm like maybe a solid 4 out of 10 on the spice scale, and then I'm like, I'm out. And then on top of that, I mean, Ted Drew's is a staple because I hit them up a lot. I go there a lot. And I even made, I forgot exactly what I called it, but whenever I went with Braden STL on Instagram,
Next week's episode, you'll see him here next week.
Holy crap. I just manifest that? That's amazing. But we made like 2 different little like concoctions. Mine was like, I think I just called it the original Dante Brookie, which was brownie, cookie dough, hot fudge, mixed in, get it into concrete, done. So highly recommend that. Honestly, like just go to all of the parks in St. Louis. I don't think there's one that like really sticks out. I mean, I of course am biased towards like Gateway Arch National Park just because the renovations that they've done and like the activities that they're doing there now, they have so much going on. And then Forest Park is just like, there's a little bit of something for everybody there. Not to mention it got voted the best park. I don't remember the exact title, but I mean, I think it's the best
USA
park.
Magazine's like best park in America or something like that.
Yeah, which is a pretty dang
Well,
good
the
deal.
park is so big, and the zoo's there, the Muni's there, Art Hill, excuse me, the Art Museum, and like you said, Gateway Arch Park. Then you got Tower Grove Park, Lafayette, like the smaller parks. So those are always fun. So what about your STL bucket list event? Like, what's one of your favorite events that's held in St. Louis?
Oh, the Taste of St. Louis was lit.
You like to eat,
Oh my
don't you?
God.
You like to eat,
Taste
don't you?
of St. Louis, bro. And I mean, I'm going to be going to a barbecue festival this weekend as well. I'll be a judge, so that'll be fun.
Oh.
And then there was also like the top 100. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like from the Post-Dispatch. They did like a top 100 event where it's like just 100 different restaurants. There's like samples. It was awesome. It was amazing. So I got to shoot a lot of cool footage there. And
Anything
then
with food.
food is good. Like I don't label myself as a foodie because I don't do just food. I do
More than
like
that, yeah.
like I go do things like I'm gonna go grab a coffee today and then we're gonna see how the day develops. You know, like or one of my favorite off-topic vlogs was like I did forest bathing in Creve Coeur Park. Like, do you know what forest bathing is?
Explain for the crowd, please.
Forest bathing is a great practice where you immerse yourself in nature and that cleanses you of the city life, cleanses you of, just reconnects you with nature. It's amazing. Honestly, like it's just good to get away from like staring at a screen all day and like, oh, here I am editing this clip and listening to the same little thing back 100 times, like trying to make sure it works. Like, it's just nice to see greenery. It's nice to like go do something else. Like I literally just grabbed a coffee and I just sat in the park. And it was awesome. So do it every once in a while. That also kind of ties into like, you know, there's not a bad park in St. Louis. Like Creve Coeur was another one that I didn't even mention.
Oh yeah, yeah, Creve Coeur. I love paddleboarding there.
Dude,
like on the lake there. It's so nice.
So nice.
So nice.
They have
We're
that
probably
little
gonna do
waterfall.
that. Yeah, we're probably gonna do that in a few weeks once it really warms up and it's like the water's not like really
Right.
cold. So that'll be dope. So I wanted to kind of shift it to your proudest accomplishment thus far in your life. You know, this is a hard question for some people. But what's one of like your biggest like aha moments, accomplishment in your life that you could touch on that really made you say like, I am doing the right thing?
I guess what it really comes down to is like the fact that I just quit my job. Like at first I would have said it's probably winning the STL Bucket List People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of people that voted on that.
That was crazy. Like it just like, that was an awesome experience. I was like, wow, the people really like put me here. Like the people that supported me are the reason that I'm here right now.
Right.
So it was like a humbling moment because I'm like, this many people really do support me. And like, they're actually pushing me to continue to do stuff and actually like looking at what I do. But then I'd say, yeah, quitting my job, because now it's like, this is probably one of the riskiest things I've done, if not the riskiest thing I've done in my life. So it's like, I don't know, just I get excited thinking about all the freedom and all of the possibility that can happen from here. Because like now I've just kind of like opened myself up to new opportunities and opened myself up to like, I don't know what's going to happen next, but it's probably going to be sick.
Right. I think it's too risky to stay at a job. I honestly believe that if you're not fully fulfilled and you're not happy at your job, you're taking a risk by staying there. Because Dante, the worst thing that can happen is if you do this freelance stuff for a few months and you totally fail. Not saying you will, but what if you fail? You can always get another fucking job.
It's true.
You can always get another
It's true. There are
job.
opportunities out there.
I say that now to this day. Like if everything was lost, I can always go to work and make money. You're always going to be able to make money. It's taking the risk. So I don't even see it as a risk. I see it as taking a leap into that next chapter of your life. Because now, like you said, you're on the podcast now. We have some projects that people are going to hear about this summer that are going to be really fucking dope.
They're going to be lit. They're going to be lit.
They're going to be dope.
They're going to be lit.
But we're going to be able to create and actually be creative and use our resources to make change in St. Louis. And that's all that you want to do. Is like every creator I talk to just wants to make a difference. It's not about money. The money will come by making that difference. And the opportunities are going to come. But now you're freed up. It's like if Tuesday morning somebody wants to go get coffee and it's a potential client, you can go. Yeah. You don't have to say, oh, can you meet at like 7 p.m. at dinner? Like nobody wants to go to dinner. They want to meet on their work day.
It's true. And like kind of how you mentioned, like everything else will come. I mean, like one of the things that like when people leave a job, they're most of the time looking for happiness. Like, because a lot of them are unhappy at their job. But the thing is, a lot of them are actually looking for purpose. Because whenever you're looking for your purpose and you find your purpose, the happiness comes as a result. And that's exactly what I did, is like I chased what I think is my purpose. And as a result, happiness, and then of course like the money and stuff, that'll all come with it. I mean, that's just how it is.
Right. And it's just putting your head down and working. And somebody that was on the pod, Jawan, he said, put your head up at work. Because if your head is up and you're working, you're open to these opportunities.
I'm gonna sit like this now. I'm gonna make sure
the mic's on point.
Like extreme posture.
Yeah. So what was one of the coolest projects you've done in St. Louis, you think?
One of the coolest. Oh God, I've done so much crap. I'm trying to think of.
I think I know it.
What do you think?
Can I
guess? Yeah, guess.
The Stanley Cup recap was amazing,
bro.
When you were like in the streets, like you were just camera on, ready.
That was. I really wasn't expecting it to pop off like that, because I was like. I mean, back whenever they were facing the Bruins, we didn't know. I mean, we were just like so inconsistent, kind of like how we are now. But like we didn't know how that was going to end up. We didn't actually know if we were going to win. If it could have gone either way. Like realistically, it could have. Yeah, it was game 7.
Winner
there.
Yeah,
like they had the home field advantage. Like we don't know how this is going to go. So I went to the Cardinals watch party, like the one that they had at Busch Stadium, and I was like, "This is lit." It was kind of weird seeing Busch filled with blue.
Yeah,
that was kind of like
with red seats.
What? It's like this
and nothing going on but just screens.
Yes, it's like this kind of feels wrong, but whatever. Let's just go with it. So from there, I was like, I'm gonna record this. It's gonna be sick. I'm just gonna see what happens, and if they lose, whatever, it's fine. Well, thank God I had my camera on me, and it kind of made me upset.
I thought they let you bring it in there. Usually they don't let people bring cameras in this.
Yeah, I was really shocked by that. But I also think it's because I had a much smaller lens at the time, so it looked like it was like one of those cameras that had an attached lens. Because I think it's detachable lenses. So like if I do this, they're gonna be like, "Bro, what? Get that out of here."
Yeah, because like something could be in there.
Yeah, it's like you can do so much. Now I have to completely not destroy our little setup here. Whoa,
it's all good. You can set it right there.
Oh, there we go. Got it. Oh, now it's falling. Now it's falling. See, these Gorilla Pods, I go through them like nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like they let me bring the camera in. I had the microphone and everything. So I was recording like throughout the game. Like they just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. And I was like, dude, this is going to be insane. Like not only was I like caught up in the moment of like, that was honestly one of like the most hype moments of my life was that. right there, sitting there, seeing them like the build up, and then finally like seeing all of our pent up excitement of something that
Like as
all
the
of
time
our
counted
fans,
down,
yes,
as the time counted down, everybody was just like,
everyone's like, oh, this is like shit. This is actually happening. Like we're gonna fucking win this. And then we did. And then I remember that moment of like, I don't even remember recording it. I just remember like screaming, and my voice sounded like an old man because I was just like, ah! I like everyone's just screaming. There's fireworks. The lights are pulsating through like bush, and then you see like drinks and food flying everywhere because everyone's just like throwing it to like everyone went back to like being kids again. Yeah. Like we were all just like,
and this was like a bunch
running around.
I remember like some photo recaps of that in your video recap. So you left the stadium, and then the streets were just hysteria.
Oh, dude. Like that was the crazy, like we hadn't even left the stadium yet. I literally just like walked up like some stairs to get a better view of this. Someone had a Bruins jersey, and I don't know how that made it in. I don't know whose it was, but it was just on the ground. People were like throwing it. People were like ripping it. I'm like,
it's like that.
I'm like, that's how you feel? Like we won. We don't got to do that. They ain't even here. They're all the way that way. It's like y'all could chill a little bit. But like I just remember seeing that, and then once I left Bush, oh my God, there were like people storming the streets, traffic. People were like hanging out of cars. Like everybody was just hype. Like everybody was. It was cool to see like the city just in general just come together for something awesome, something that we all believed in, and something that we all wanted to see. It was magical, dude, and I hope we can see that again this year.
Yeah. Hey,
because I would love to make a part 2. Because honestly, that video is still getting views to this day. That video, people are still like going back and rewatching it to relive it. Like, yeah, it was
sports
crazy.
content is good content. People love sports, especially in St. Louis, and we have 2 teams.
Yeah.
It's not like we're over like populated like a city like New York City or LA where there's like 12 teams, like 2 football teams, 2 baseball. Like there's a lot of options. And then you have a beach, and then you have all this stuff. Like in St. Louis, you have like some parks, some restaurants, and some sports stadiums, and then a lot of good art places like Fabulous Fox and obviously the Muni and stuff like that. But it's special, and hopefully we can create more content. I know we did some stuff at opening day, and just the energy in St. Louis during the sports is just amazing. So,
dude, imagine if the Battlehawks come back.
Whew.
I'm just saying, I was at the home opener. That's another video I did. But I was thinking towards that too, where I'm like, the Battlehawks home opener was super sick. Which that video, yeah, it just like seeing people excited about football again. Like, but to see people excited about football again would be awesome.
Yeah,
dude, Battlehawks, if we can caw again, I will feel complete. All right.
I think The Rock bought it. So if we can get,
what a guy.
Yeah, he bought like the whole league.
Oh my God, what a guy
to have it.
The
like
Rock.
That.
How can you not like The Rock, dude? He's so good. He bought the XFL. I didn't even see that. Yeah. How'd I miss that?
It was a while back, but like he bought it.
What?
I guess they're gonna try to bring it back.
A while back.
I don't know when it was, but it was. Yeah, he owns the XFL rights or whatever it is.
What?
Yeah. So.
Oh my God. The Rock has done it again. Oh my God. I mean, that's not sponsored either. He's just a good guy.
What a guy. What a guy.
God.
So Dante, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self? Or let's go back to when you started creating like your first YouTube video. So when you dropped that first Black Friday video,
yes,
what advice would you give yourself then to change your trajectory to where you are now?
Oh God. I mean, honestly, just stick with it. Just show up every day. I mean, just continue to like do your thing, show up, make the videos, grow and get better. Like just grind. That's really it. I mean, whenever it comes to YouTube, I mean, you also have to pay attention to trends. You have to pay attention to, oh, this is going on. This is going on. And like, there have been so many times whenever I would have to, like, for example, the blues video, I immediately went home knowing I had work at 8 o'clock the next day. I didn't care. I was like, I got home at like 1:30. I was like, I'm going to edit this video and I'm going to post it tonight. Because I have to. Because while the buzz is going and before people wake up and realize like, oh, they did win last night. Like, I want that traffic.
Thing that people see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like if I'm one of the only videos on the internet that's actually recap and it's actually something that's like different from your traditional media where it's like a news station doing it.
A caster like talking about the game and
yeah,
who scored and
like
stuff
someone
like
that's, you know, at the game like, yeah, their performance was super great today. They were a little inconsistent and shaky in the beginning, but they really got it together towards the end. People love that. But I'm not that, okay? Like, I'm just a guy that is going to tell you how it is and might do a little bit of shit talking mixed in there, you know, seasoning with there.
Right.
But, like, it's great. I mean, I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be first. So, like, honestly, just, like, keep up with trends. Be ready to, like, adapt to things and, like, I don't just get out there and don't let the internet comments shake you. Cause like now I look at internet comments and laugh. Like the hate comments I've gotten, like it is kind of funny. Like I could pull up the blocked messages, like when people comment on YouTube videos. Some people are like, I'm an idiot. Like I have a Millennials versus Gen Z series that like for some reason people are really loving on YouTube. And I got people that are like, oh, you're such a millennial, you're stupid because of this thought and idea. And I'm like, okay, but like you got so bothered that you felt the need to, you feel compelled to comment on my video and try to attack me as a person over me not liking pineapple on my pizza. Why does that so deeply hurt you?
Right.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Internet comments, they're not too, like, whenever it comes to putting yourself out there, I'm sure the bucket list gets them like, oh, you guys, like, talk about this thing and not this thing when really you should be. It's like.
All the time.
It's just like.
And we're just trying to do something good. And I like the comments. And I actually like, you know, commenting back because I don't care. I think it's funny. And I like to call people out sometimes. But occasionally, like, as we grow as a brand, it's probably not, like, smart to do that, but I love doing it. I think it's fun.
Some trolls like the
Drake
attention
did it,
too.
So if Drake can do it, I can do it.
Drake ruined a man's life with with two single actions, a comment and a follow. That's ruined a man's life. That is a little too much power for one person.
Like, but they have it, man, and they have that power. So I wanted to wrap it up like this, Dante, and give me some people that inspire you in St. Louis to be better. Like, do you have mentors? Do you have people that just inspire you to create? Other people that does what you do that you kind of look up to? Just in St. Louis, though, not on a global scale, but just some people in St. Louis.
Okay, because I do have people in other cities that I look to and talk to because I don't know. I mean, other cities are doing cool stuff too, like with their content and like showcasing the city. If we can do that here, because in St. Louis, like influencing and like content creation is still in its infancy compared to like LA, New York, Atlanta, Chicago. Like all these places have like, you know, 100K is like a normal influencer there. Here, you have like 10K, you're a big shot. Like, but here in St. Louis, I mean, honestly, the foodie scene is pretty cool to keep up with just because like they're going to all these different places and like seeing the way that they capture stuff and like make these reels is really cool. Like Braden is one of my good friends. I mean, we talk about video creation and like all this different stuff all the time. Like we do a lot together. We meet up for coffee. We discuss a lot of ideas, but also we're just friends. So I'd say he's probably the biggest like source of inspiration because he also is trying to push a different direction with his content where it's like some people might look at us as like the same because we're both vloggers and content creators. And it's not at all the case. We're like two different people that do two awesome things that happen to just be like, you know, two different ways of showcasing St. Louis. So he's a great guy.
Yeah, that's special.
I mean, it'd be cool if you voted for him for the top vlogger this year and not Original Dante.
We'll see. We're going to have a lot more awards, and it's going to be a really cool party. So we just got some news on a venue that we're going to announce soon for that. So
a venue?
Yeah, we got a venue.
I mean, your venue last year was pretty cool.
It was cool. Shout out Shark Bar and Ballpark Village, but we got something special up our sleeves. We're going to drop pretty soon. So it's going to be a hot boy summer. So
it's going to be a hot boy summer. Oh, man.
And the STL Bucket List crew, guys. And last but not least, Dante, tell the people how they can support St. Louis. Tell the people how they can support you, where they can find you. Give me your website links. Give me your social links. Drop some stuff.
Give me all the info. Yeah. Okay. Well, basically, if you want to support St. Louis, just like document what you do. Put up an Instagram story, a Facebook story if you're one of those people. I don't know. Boomers got to get love too. Facebook is out there. Put up the stories because people do watch those. Like, just share your experience with people and tag these businesses. Let them know that they're actually doing a good job because I feel like not enough people say the positive. And that, like, if you have a bad experience, you'll get people that are like, oh, my Yelp this. But like, if you actually talk about your positive experience and like say, oh yeah, this is how I, you know, whenever I went to Chicken Out, I had these awesome like sliders. The shake was great. Like, more people need to hear about that stuff. But if you want to find me, okay, at Original Dante on Instagram, Original Dante on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And have your YouTube notifications on so that you won't miss an upload because I don't have YouTube notifications on because I don't need that business because there's comments, there's people that are likes and responding to comments. It's a lot to keep up with. But if you want to find me there, do that. I am on Twitter at Original Dante YT. Don't follow me on Twitter. I don't tweet. I tweet maybe once in like 5 months. Like I'll show up and I'm just like, man, I should tweet more. And then I don't. That's been like the trend for the past couple years is I'll tweet, man, I need to tweet more. And then I disappear for 5 months. Yeah. And then my website is just originaldante.net because somebody's still using .com. Unfortunately, I was too slow to get there. So I have .net, but it's fine because I'm an internet personality, guys.
I love it, man. Dante, thank you so much for coming on, guys. If you guys haven't checked out Original Dante's content, he's got some of the highest level production, and it inspires us in St. Louis, so it'll inspire you guys too. So if you guys could go hit him, follow up, do some stuff like that. And if you want to support the show, the best way to do it is just share it. We want to get more people to hear this. Share the show. But if you want to give some money to us, we got some shirts up on the website. So hit some tees up. We got some shirts. And then we're going to have some cool stuff coming, some cool events this summer that we're going to be a part of and some stuff that we're going to be sponsoring. So yet again, shout out to my guys at Half Coast Studios. They always produce a top tier product when it comes to the podcast game. So if you have a podcast in St. Louis or if you've been thinking about starting a podcast, all you got to do is go to Google, go to Half Coast Studios, tell them STL Bucket List sent you, and they'll get you guys hooked up with a meeting. So signing off for the day, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Thank you so much. Hey, y'all, stay safe out there. Have fun. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time. Well, he will, not me.